Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. This is your weekly horoscope for the week starting Monday the 2nd of October, going through until Sunday the 8th of October. Now I'm going to give you a day-by-day rundown of what this week is about. I'm also going to include the timestamps for each day. Someone suggested that in the comments last week, so I'll put the charts up again and I will put the timestamps as well. So you can click on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so it makes it easier for you. Now, in terms of this week, I've had a look at it, and it's a week that is very, very focused on relationships and using a kind of critical eye when you look at your relationships. It's kind of a tough week, and you're, in a sense, tough because you're looking at the people in your lives and you're looking at everyone around you and you're thinking kind of, what have you done for me lately? What is it that you contribute to my life? You're not sitting around asking, how am I being of service? What am I adding to other people's lives and experience? What am I doing? No, that's off limits. What is in the forefront of your mind is, what are other people doing for me? And are they valuable to me or not? So before I look at the day-to-day energies, I would advise you this week to kind of soften your approach a little bit. And if you do make a really harsh judgment against someone, then compare that with what you are contributing yourself. So let's say you're married and your partner, your wife, you're thinking, well, she doesn't bring enough money into the household. Then ask yourself, how much money are you bringing into the household? And your judgment may immediately become less powerful because you realize that you're actually not doing very much more or even less than the other person. So your judgment may be somewhat faulty, and this is not the week to really make these huge critical statements to other people because you are overly critical. Now, my horoscopes are based on UK time, starting with Monday, the 2nd of October. We have the moon, the planet that makes you feel at ease. It's what gives you a sense of comfort. That goes into the very watery and peaceful sign of Pisces at 2:27 in the afternoon. So that immediately gives you a sense of spirituality and connection and being in touch with your own feelings and even possibly being somewhat empathetic in a way to other people. We also have then this moon trining Jupiter, which is the good luck planet. That is in Libra, which is the sign of other people. So these emotions are now aimed towards your relationships and focusing on what those are like. And the moon sextiles Uranus in Aries. Uranus is the planet of individuality, doing things in your unique, special way. And Aries is about bulldozing through obstacles and saying, I have decided to do this, therefore I'm going to blast my way through it and bulldoze all the obstacles out of the way and get what I want. Okay? So Monday is a kind of confusing mix because we've got Pisces going on, which is passive, then we have Aries, which is super, super active, and then this Jupiter in Libra kind of in the middle saying, what's going on here? Trying to maintain a balance. So you may be a little bit confused about the longevity and validity of certain relationships in your life. You may begin to question who's good for you and really who isn't. And you're questioning that from a broader, less subjective perspective. So yes, it's critical, but you're not judging it from the heart, you're judging it from the head. You're looking at facts, you're looking at figures. How many children has this man provided me with? How much income is he bringing into the home? What is the living situation like? And again, the focus is on what has she or he done for me lately or ever. And that is very, sometimes people do things for us in a way that isn't measurable in those terms. Sometimes someone is with you and the love and support they give you, that is priceless. And when you're just thinking about facts, money, figures, belongings, that doesn't factor into anything. So this isn't the day to kind of say, you're no good, you contribute nothing to my life, because you're really looking at it from quite a cold and heartless perspective. Now on Tuesday the 3rd of October we have the Pisces moon still, very sensitive and emotional. That conjuncts Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is the dream planet of intuition, imagination, feelings. And this now opposes Venus, which is the personal planet of love, beauty, and creativity, and Mars, the male planet of what I want, when I want it, desire, what I demand. And both of those personal planets are sitting in Virgo. Virgo being the sign that takes lots of information, breaks it down, and makes sense of it. So on Tuesday, relationships become even more scrutinized. You're trying to really decipher who is supportive and who builds you up and who tears you down. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong in making those decisions and trying to figure out what's going on. But remember to include your own part in it and not just to see it from one perspective, i.e., what am I getting? So on Tuesday, there's a process of change going on internally based on your desire to really love yourself and to build a good life for yourself. That's why you're asking these questions, because you feel you deserve respect, you deserve love, you deserve self-love, and you deserve to be treated in a certain way. And you're doing that, you're feeling that, and from that place, you're determining to have that reflected in your actual life. And if things aren't like that in your actual life, you're going to become very critical of them. So if someone is, if you text someone and say it's urgent, I need to chat, and you get a response 5 days later, then you're going to have the kind of tendency to say, this is not a real friend because I can't rely on them. If it's a relationship and you think that, if I loved myself, I would be with someone who nurtured me and took care of me and brought me flowers or a little gift once in a while, and the actual guy doesn't, and he's very thoughtless and always tinkering away on his projects, then you'll realize that there's an incongruency, there's something not quite clicking in terms of what you feel you deserve internally and what you're getting in the real world. Now, again, be careful about that, because a lot of us have this sense of entitlement in terms of, I deserve all the good things in the world. And part of this is, I think the culture we're in very much is, at school particularly in the last couple of years, people have not wanted to make anyone feel bad. So everyone's a winner. If there's a competition, if you come in last, you get a medal for participation, and the winner gets a gold medal, and everyone's okay, and let's just make sure no one's ever disappointed. That's, the thought behind that is nice, but it doesn't match reality in a sense, because some people are going to be better runners than others. And if you compare yourself on an actual level without someone kind of patting you on the head saying everything is great, they're there, then some people are going to run faster than you, and sometimes you're not going to be the winner, okay? So it's also important to look at that sense of entitlement, what you actually demand from other people. If you demand jewelry every other week to make sure that you feel loved, then that's not going to be sustainable unless the guy is a millionaire. And also, you may want to ask yourself, why do I feel entitled to demand all of these things? Why am I so special? And what do I contribute to their lives? Now on Wednesday, the 4th of October, we've got the moon going into Aries at 40 minutes past 8 in the evening. And the Libra sun, the sun right now being in Libra makes it about relationships anyway, and it makes it about balancing things. Libra is often said to be a very personable sign, and it likes harmony, and it doesn't like conflict and all of that. But Libra can also be kind of cold sometimes. It's the only sign of the zodiac that's not a living thing. It's the scales, and it weighs things up in facts and figures. And I know a lot of Libras who are kind of, they're not particularly generous when someone crosses them or makes a mistake or doesn't provide them with what they feel that they're entitled to. Libra likes things to be factual and for fairness and justice, and for things to be even. So we're in this time anyway of looking at everything of, okay, where am I being harmed and where am I giving too much? And that's the kind of atmosphere that's going around in any case. And that sun then quincunxes Neptune and Pluto, which makes it worse because Neptune, the dream planet, is like, not only do I want equal balance in my life, but I want to have things even better than everyone else. That's what I deserve. So your deserving levels are going through the roof. And the more we deserve, or we feel we deserve, the more we set ourselves up to be disappointed and not to have our expectations met, right? So on Wednesday, you feel more certain of what you want in life and out of all of your relationships because of this sense of I am who I am, I deserve what I deserve, and you feel more confident in pursuing your dreams. Now, it's okay to do that and to pursue these dreams, but just have a word with yourself and say, are these realistic? You know, if you're someone who has no education, but you think that you deserve to be with a professor of mathematics, then when you actually meet that professor and you have no knowledge of anything, then what are you adding to his life? And why would that work? So it's got to be realistic. So it's a great time to take action and to make your dreams a reality, but just make sure that those dreams are achievable and that you manage your expectations to some extent. On Thursday, the 5th of October, we have the full moon in Aries. This is the harvest moon. So the moon is fully illuminated. The Aries moon opposes Mercury in Libra. Mercury is the communication planet. In Libra, it's very happy. It communicates clearly, crisply, fairly, unemotionally, and it looks at things on merit again. There's no heart here. It's very looking at the facts and figures. And this Aries moon squares Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, which is in Capricorn, a very earthy sign. So Thursday, we have this really positive and energizing full moon in Aries that'll urge you to make changes in your life based on your passions. Again, like we've had here the day before, you have the desire and the energy now to make your hopes and dreams a reality. Check again first whether they're attainable, realistic, and even if they seem somewhat impossible, don't dismiss those, because sometimes we can reach for the stars and sometimes we can grab the stars. So I'm not telling you to kind of lower your desires or your expectations. I'm just saying that you've got to find the line between what would be rare and exceptional and a huge success that could potentially happen, and something that's absolutely impossible and you're just kind of being self-indulgent by saying, I deserve because, you know, my mum was mean to me when I was 5. There's a difference there. So Thursday urges you to make these changes based on your passions. Have a look at the separate video that I've made on the full moon in Aries. It's the harvest moon, and in that video I go into a lot more depth in terms of what all the energies mean and what it's about. So have a look at that video as well if you want some more information on that. Moving on to Friday, the 6th of October, we have the moon now going into Taurus. Taurus being the second sign of the zodiac. It's the bull. It's very earthy. It's very grounded. It's very interested in security and luxury and the physical body and maintaining the status quo and being financially secure. That's what comforts the moon in Taurus. That change happens at 11:57 in the evening, so just before midnight. The moon also opposes Jupiter in Libra, the lucky planet still being in the people sign, and trines, so it forms a harmonious relationship with Saturn in Sagittarius. So Friday, this is a good day now to take a break from all this assessing and analyzing and scrutinizing that you've been doing. Because Saturn in Sagittarius is somewhat foggy, it's fundamentally in conflict. Saturn is about maintaining the status quo, being like the emperor in the tarot, sitting on your stone throne and ruling. Okay? Sagittarius is a centaur. He has his bow and arrow. He's always galloping towards something. He's trying to achieve things. And he's expanding and he's moving forward. The two fundamentally are they want different things. One wants to stay put, the other wants to move ahead. So with Saturn in Sagittarius, fog appears, uncertainty. So that's why it's a good day to take a break from all of this thinking that you've been doing. Enjoy some time off. Don't make major commitments if you can possibly avoid them, and treat yourself to something enjoyable on a physical level. So you don't need to splurge, and spend hundreds of pounds or whatever. But you could go have a sauna or a massage or have an aromatherapy treatment or a Reiki healing treatment, head massage, maybe even just a haircut, whatever you want, something that makes you good, that makes you feel good on a physical level. That's the best thing to do on the Friday. Moving on to Saturday the 7th, we've got the Taurus moon. Now, quincunxing, forming a really harmonious relationship with Mercury in Libra, still very rational, what's the word? Rational. Interesting that I can't even say that word. Rational, reasonable, and clear-headed. It also quincunxes the Sun in Libra, and trines Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is the transformation planet, like I said, and in the sign of Capricorn, it really enables you to make changes in the physical here and now, in the real world. So Saturday, scrutiny comes back, more scrutiny of your relationships, and now also the physical place and circumstances that are in your life and how the relationship has caused your circumstances. So you're going to be looking around at your actual circumstances, and this hateful question is going to come up. Is all of this good enough for me? If you ask that question long enough in a relationship, you're not going to be in that relationship for very long, because it's about compromise and it's also about what you're contributing. And that's why at the beginning of this reading I said, try and be a little bit gentler with other people this week and don't be so demanding, because if you look around and you're living in a semi-detached 3-bedroom, but your sense of entitlement says, do you know what, I deserve to live in a palace like the Real Housewives that I see on TV all the time. And if you really think that and believe that without doing anything or working or creating that mansion for yourself, then it's really not your job to point your finger at your partner who's doing his or her best and saying, it's all your fault. All of this isn't good enough for me. It's all rubbish. I'm dissatisfied. I'm cranky. I'm annoyed. And I'm going to point the finger back at you. Remember those other 3 fingers pointing your way. And I would really try and lay off the criticism this week, especially when it comes to relationships, because they're going to be under the spotlight, and it's not going to be the easiest week for people who are in relationships, because both of you are going to be affected in some way. Everyone's kind of thinking about their desires, their needs, and it's a week of becoming more selfish and really just thinking about yourself. And if we imagine the whole planet, everyone just thinking about themselves and what they needed, it wouldn't work. We need to make a contribution. We need to think about other people. We need to be considerate. Finally, on Sunday, the 8th of October, we've got the Sun in Libra, conjuncting, so it sits right on top of Mercury, the communication planet, also in Libra. Happy couple, very happy in terms of communicating and keeping things fair. And now they trine Venus, love planet, and Mars, which is the archetypal male planet, in Virgo. So all the thinking and assessing that you've been doing this week in terms of me versus other people, that comes to a head now. And if you do need to make a decision about a relationship, and you've been looking at this not just this week, but it's something that's been bothering you for a while, and this week has really, really highlighted it to you, on Sunday, if you feel like you have to make a decision, and if you feel like I want to make a decision on Tuesday or on Wednesday, Thursday, try your very best to at least leave it until Sunday, because Sunday, with this Sun and Mercury in Libra, that makes things fair, okay? Venus and Mars in Virgo, the male and female. Virgo is also pretty good at taking in information and seeing it in a rational way. Again, it's not very heart-centered, it's very head-centered. So if you genuinely, okay, I can't say that word. If you are in a sincerely dysfunctional relationship that you shouldn't be in, then, and you're not getting what you deserve, which is love and care, and you're giving that to the other person, then it's important to realize that I mean, it's one thing being overly critical, but it's another thing being critical enough and saying, do you know what? I deserve better than this. I don't deserve a boyfriend who goes out for the weekend, calls me on Friday, says I'll be back this evening, and then comes back on Monday. That is something that's a genuine problem, and you need to be critical, and you need to say, this relationship is finished because you don't respect me and you're not giving me what I need, and I have been here at home taking care of the kids and doing everything and picking up the pieces while you've been out partying, and that's not going to continue. So, there's a difference between really clear, reasonable criticism and making decisions and putting an end to things, and there's a difference in being overly critical. And unfortunately, for most of the week, you're overly critical, you're overly focused on what other people's flaws are, what other people's failings are, and you're not so aware of your own. That is much more balanced on Sunday. So if you do want to make a decision about a relationship, and these are all types of relationships, these are family relationships, professional relationships, romantic relationships, relationships with colleagues, with friends. I'm talking about all sorts of relationships. So there is going to be some upheaval here in terms of your relationships. Maybe someone new will come in, maybe someone leaves, maybe you let them leave or you ask them to leave. There will be some changes, and Sunday is the best time to make a reasonable decision about your relationships. Okay? So that's what I've got coming up for you for this week, Monday the 2nd to Sunday the 8th. By the way, this is off topic, but for October, I'm not going to make the monthlies for each sign of the zodiac. And the reason I'm not doing that is because I'm not happy with the current format it's in. I haven't been happy with it for some time. So I really want to change up the format of how I do those readings completely. And I'm going to take a month out. I'm going to miss October. I might, if I figure it out early enough, like within the first week or something, what my new format's going to be, I might make a half October forecast for each sign of the zodiac. But if it takes me a little bit longer, I'm going to skip October and I'm going to do the forecast for November. Because what I've noticed is that I'm not particularly happy with the format myself. And I don't think people watching it are that thrilled either. So I want to make my content the best I can. I put work and effort into this. I mean, not to go on and on, it's boring. But I do try and make them the best they can be. And if a format isn't working, then it's up to me to make a change and make that more palatable so more people can watch it and enjoy it and have fun with it. Because I want these things not just to be like, super boring and informative. I want it to be fun and hopefully inspirational, and it gives you some motivation. It gives you an idea of what you're working with. And I don't think the monthlies are currently giving you that. So it won't be a permanent stop to them. I will keep making them once I've found a great format. I think I'll start. It won't take me more than a few weeks. The November ones will be up. So if you're wondering why the October ones aren't appearing, that's why. If you would like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. And in my personal readings, I look at astrology and tarot numerology. I use them all together, and they allow me kind of to open up my intuition and to bring messages through. And through these divination tools, and my intuition, we can look at what your life purpose is, what your best jobs are going to be, so what professions are most aligned with who you are internally, so you can do something that's really an extension of yourself. We can look at what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, where the ego sabotages you, and what you need to overcome to really maximize your potential. You can also have a look at what's coming up in future by using the tarot and the predictive astrology. So what's coming up in your love life, what's coming up with finance, career, profession, moving, when the best time to move is, when the best time is to get married, all of those kind of things, what's coming up in your health, family life, spirituality. We can even look at astrocartography, which looks at what each area of the planet is like and how that will impact you and where the best places for you to be are. So it's really, really in depth, and it gives you a really nice overview. So if you would like a private reading with me, then please visit the website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to order your reading. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you next week.